If the things that Jesus says are true, then it's not only a matter of life and death, but a matter of eternal life and death. But how can we know that Jesus' words can be trusted? We know we can trust him if he truly is God, but how can we know he is really God? Well, first, we know he has at least claimed to be God. Those who follow Jesus recorded him saying that he and the Father were one and the same. Even Jesus' enemies tried to stone him and eventually crucified him because he equated himself with God. Obviously, Jesus' claim to be God on its own doesn't prove that he is God. He would have to prove it. Many contemporaries of Jesus recorded having witnessed Jesus performing supernatural and very public miracles, news of which were very quickly spread throughout the region, from healing the sick to walking on water and even raising the dead to life. Again, even Jesus' enemies are recorded as having seen Jesus perform these miracles, claiming him to have had demonic powers. To which Jesus responded by pointing out that every miracle he did was good and beneficial and not what any demonic entity would want him to do. But the biggest miracle Jesus performed was to raise from the dead himself. At least 500 people are recorded as having seen Jesus alive and well after he had died. Many of these witnesses were tortured and put to death for claiming they had seen Jesus alive after his death, and none of them ever changed their story. Would you be willing to die for something you knew was a lie? Some people might say that maybe they didn't know it was a lie. Maybe they died because they believed Jesus died and rose again, but actually just swooned on the cross. But crucifixion was an extremely brutal execution practice that no one ever survived. On top of that, Jesus was pierced through the side with a spear just to make sure he was dead. There can be no doubt that Jesus actually died on the cross and that many witnesses very passionately believed they had seen him walking and talking afterwards. We can also look at prophecy. Hundreds of years before Jesus was even born, very specific prophecies were written about him, like where and when he would be born. Some people might say that maybe he just lived his life intentionally trying to fulfill these prophecies, but how could Jesus have intentionally fulfilled prophecies like the exact coins he would be betrayed for, or that people would gamble for his clothes while he was dying? These are just the beginnings of the evidence for Jesus. If you want to know more about Jesus, we would love to talk with you more. Honestly, evaluating the evidence is such an important step in understanding who God is.